What if the world's most celebrated missile shield is little more than a fragile facade? For decades, the Patriot missile defense system stood as the crown jewel of American military technology, a symbol of security paraded across Western media. It was marketed as an impenetrable barrier, capable of shielding cities, bases, and vital infrastructure from any airborne menace. Allies staked their safety on the Patriot, spending billions of dollars, forging alliances, and entrusting civilian lives to its promise. The belief in its near infallibility shaped military strategies and bolstered reputations across the world. Yet recent battlefield realities have detonated this illusion. Against the latest Russian missile barrages, the Patriot's interception rate has plummeted to a dismal 6%. This is not just a technical failure. It is a blaring alarm for every nation that has placed its fate in American hands. The most unsettling twist? Even U.S. experts now confess the Patriot's reputation was always built on shaky ground. Confidence has crumbled, replaced by urgent doubts and a frantic search for alternatives. If the shield is a myth, the fallout is global. Nations may wake up to find their defenses hollow, their budgets squandered, and their sense of security evaporated overnight. How did this happen? How did a Western icon become a warning to the world? To understand the Patriot's fall from grace, we must revisit its origins and the promises that first captured global trust. How did a single missile defense system become the emblem of Western military dominance? The answer is found in the story of the Patriot, a weapon designed for a world that has vanished. Patriot was conceived for wars of the 20th century. It was built to intercept slow, predictable threats, enemy aircraft and primitive ballistic missiles flying straight and steady. In those days, that seemed enough to promise safety. Washington and its allies invested billions of dollars in the Patriot program. The system was more than protection. It was a symbol, a guarantee that American technology could stop any aerial attack. Owning Patriots became a badge of prestige, aligning nations with the world's superpower. For decades, the Pentagon and Western leaders assured their partners, the Patriot was unbeatable. No cost was too high to spread this belief, to market the system as the ultimate guardian of cities, infrastructure, and borders. With every public test and promotional video, the legend only grew. Patriot batteries were paraded at arms expos, sold as insurance to nervous governments, and wielded as diplomatic leverage. The system was not just hardware. It was a tool for building trust, forging alliances, and displaying the reach of American power. The stakes could not have been higher. Entire defense budgets and strategies worldwide were anchored to faith in American superiority. Trust in Patriot shaped alliances, influenced peace and war, and justified colossal spending. If that faith was misplaced, the fallout could destabilize more than doctrine. It could upend the foundations of global security. Now, as new threats move faster and hit harder, the old legend faces its greatest test. The world is about to discover whether the myth of Patriot can survive the storm of modern warfare. Yet recent events have shattered this illusion. Advanced missiles have exposed cracks in the Patriot's armor, forcing the world to confront an uncomfortable truth. What happens when legacy meets innovation on the battlefield? The American Patriot missile defense system, once the gold standard of Western protection, now faces its greatest challenge, and the results are shaking the very foundations of military certainty. Russian missiles such as the Iskander and Kinzhal are not just quick, they are cunning and erratic. Built to outsmart classic defenses, these weapons defy every expectation. They twist, turn, and vanish without warning, leaving defenders grasping at shadows. The Iskander, to name one, shifts its speed, arc, and altitude mid-flight. Every unpredictable move scrambles the Patriot's tracking, which depends on fixed patterns. Instead of a neat ballistic path, the Iskander flits through the sky like a phantom, impossible to cage. Then comes the Kinzhal. Its hypersonic velocity stretches far beyond the Patriot's aging radar. By the time operators detect the threat, it is already too late. The Kinzhal has ripped past, leaving little but alarm in its wake. Even with software tweaks and fresh sensors, the Patriot cannot outrun obsolescence. Its core design, catching predictable threats with predictable tools, now fails against missiles that write new rules in real time. Recent battles have laid these flaws bare. Operators are overwhelmed, unable to lock on or counter incoming strikes. Launchers stand idle as interception success plummets, pride giving way to frustration and doubt. This is not just a lost skirmish. The credibility of Western defense and the faith of allied nations are under siege. Allies who once trusted the American shield now wonder if that trust was misplaced. If the old playbook is useless, what future awaits modern warfare, and who will shape the next rules of power? The collapse of old certainties has forced military strategists back to the drawing board. New solutions are needed, and fast, before the next wave of threats arrives. When a legend collapses, who pays, and who gets to rewrite the rules? The Patriot system's failure is no mere technical error. Overnight, its weakness becomes global news, undeniable, raw, and symbolically devastating. For nearly 40 years, the Patriot missile stood as America's shield, proof of its promise to protect allies. Now, from Ukraine to Germany, leaders watch in stunned silence. Some scramble for alternatives, others go quiet, as faith in American protection dissolves almost instantly. This isn't just a story about flawed hardware. It's about broken trust. What happens when the world's most advertised shield cracks in public? The bedrock of Western deterrence shakes, and NATO unity wavers. Billions of dollars, decades of war planning, and the credibility of an entire doctrine are suddenly in jeopardy. There's a cruel irony here. For years, the Pentagon sold the Patriot as an impenetrable wall, a myth believed by the world, and by America itself. Now its flaws are exposed on live television. The official response? Spin, denial, hollow reassurances. Each one deepens the crisis. Western credibility is no longer a matter of press releases. It's measured in burning wreckage. Meanwhile, Russia's approach is coldly pragmatic. Their missiles, Iskander, Kinzhal, are not parade pieces. They are predators, built for survival and adaptation. The Patriot, forged for yesterday's wars, cannot keep pace. In this era, victory belongs to those who evolve, not those who rely on old reputations. This is more than a tactical setback. It is a seismic shift. Air supremacy is now a contest of innovation. The world is witnessing not just a technical defeat, but the unraveling of a story that shaped global politics for generations. Now the question is not what failed, but what must change. Can the West adapt before the next crisis exposes even deeper vulnerabilities? When the old shield lies in ruins, how do you defend yourself? The Russian breakthrough is not just about advanced missiles. It is a story of relentless testing, adaptation, and engineering for the real battlefield, not for display. Russian designers built weapons to evolve in real time, always learning and countering. Meanwhile, the West kept patching aging systems, convinced that small upgrades and shiny marketing could still keep them ahead. The United States and its allies drifted into a world of simulations and slideshows, forgetting that battle has no pause button. Budgets soared, but priorities shifted from true effectiveness to image and influence. The hard reality: on today's battlefield, arrogance about technology is punished instantly, often with deadly results. Modern defense cannot lean on yesterday's plans. It demands rapid, humble innovation, systems that adapt as quickly as threats do. Security is not about spending another $1 billion on hardware that only looks impressive on paper. It is about building a culture that learns, evolves, and never underestimates the enemy. Ignore these lessons, and the cost is not just wasted money or a bruised reputation. The real risk is defeat in the next conflict, the collapse of security promises, and growing global instability. If Western defense keeps chasing comforting myths, it is the taxpayer and the soldier who will pay the price. As the myth of technological invincibility crumbles, the need for honest self-assessment becomes urgent. The next move could decide not just military outcomes, but the future of international security. The sky now belongs to those willing to question. So what will you choose to believe? and what will you demand of your leaders? The collapse of the Patriot missile defense myth is more than a headline. It is a wake-up call to anyone who values truth over tradition and real security over comforting illusions. For many years, faith in Western protection was built on stories, not on the harsh realities revealed by modern warfare. That trust is now shaken. If the old icons of military power can be shown as breakable, what other beliefs are inherited, not earned? Tens of billions in taxpayer funds, global prestige, and the safety of entire regions have been risked on systems that failed when truly challenged. The cost of misplaced faith is paid not only in money, but in lives and the stability of our fragile world. This is a crossroads for all of us. The future will belong to those who face hard truths, reject hollow propaganda, and demand honest answers from those in power. Blind faith in myths of invincibility is no longer an option. As the dust settles and new dangers emerge, what will you question next? And what kind of security will you insist on in this new era?